Hey, it's Chris from Printing Fundamentals, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the printing process. So you got your printer all set up and your slicer all ready, and now you're ready to do your first print. The process that I go through when I do my printing is pretty simple, straightforward, but it lends itself to allowing you to minimize issues and have a good routine that will keep your prints effectively going. So what I do first of all is I use a 50-50 poly cotton blend t-shirt with my alcohol, the 91% IPA that you can get from Walmart or Walgreens, any drugstore, even probably Amazon and stuff like that. It's a pretty common percentage and stuff, so you want to get that. And then I would get a dispenser too, ones that you can push on the top and dispense out, and that's what I use with the t-shirt. And I just use that, and it's great for the 50-50 poly cotton is great for soaking up the alcohol, and then also minimizing the debris left over, lint and stuff, minimizing that, because if you use paper towels and stuff, paper towels are going to leave dust. It's going to leave stuff on there while you're cleaning it. So I use that t-shirt to minimize the dust and lint after rubbing it down with the alcohol. So I'll do the alcohol before every print. Okay, so now that you got the bed leveled, aka trimmed, and you're ready to do your print, what I always do is I always wipe it down with isopropyl alcohol before every print. That allows you to get the bed as clean as it can be right when you start your print. If you're having bed adhesion issues, most likely culprit is your finger oils. That's also a good idea to try and avoid touching the bed with your fingers and hands. Even when you're trying to get a print off that's being stubborn, it's best to try to avoid touching because when you touch the bed, the oils for your hands get on the bed. Sometimes the isopropyl alcohol doesn't get that off good enough if it bakes in, and that can cause your bed adhesion issues. So what I do is I always do the 91% isopropyl alcohol wiping in between and before each print, and then if I find out that I'm starting to have adhesion issues because I've accidentally touched the bed a few times and just parts won't stay on, then what I do is I always get some Dawn Power Wash and use the Dawn dish soap power wash to clean the bed off, and then clean that off with alcohol, and then that should leave the bed as clean as it can be. But the dish soap will get your finger oils off the bed if they get baked into it, and that'll fix adhesion issues most of the time. There are people that use glue sticks and stuff to get a little adhesion layer down, and then especially for PET G and like PET G is a really strong stick to it, so a lot of people will use glue stick or even hairspray, stuff like that, to ensure that it doesn't stick to the bed, because a lot of the times with a glass bed, if you get it PET G stuck to it, it's going to rip the top of your bed off in pieces. A lot of people have dealt with that, but for PLA and stuff, you don't need glue stick, nothing like that. Just use the alcohol, avoid touching the bed, and then so once you've wiped off the bed, then you're gonna heat it up to your print temperature. And for PLA Plus, it's gonna be anywhere between 60 and 65. I use 65 for everything. It seems to be the best temperature to adhere everything well. And then you're gonna wait at least 10 minutes before you start printing, because the bed needs time to heat evenly over it. So you're going to do what's called a heat soak for 10 minutes, so that enables the whole bed to be evenly heated throughout, and that'll allow for better adhesion on the bed. One of the things that you need to learn in this hobby is patience. Lack of patience messes things up. It'll cause you to chase your tail on adhesion issues. That's what I've learned myself going through things. Also, when you're printing, if you get done with the print and it's hard to get off the bed, you're probably most likely going to want to re-level it, because when you're yanking on it and stuff, you're moving stuff out of place. It's not going to flex back into the spot that it was, and you'll probably end up having issues after that if you don't re-level right at that point. And then you can start the print. So we'll start print. So I'm actually printing a bed level print, that file I created to checking the bed level. It'll make pads in the corners and one in the center, and then you can see your initial layer to see how what the ins and outs. And we'll also have a file of a picture that shows you proper height, too high and too low on one picture, that shows you everything that you need to know about the proper height of the nozzle to the bed. And that file will be available with the file that I'm printing now, and other files will be available for you to download and use. Just basic stuff that will allow you to understand the fundamentals and have a good experience in printing. What you want to do after it's done printing is, I always wait an hour at least for everything to cool off, because like I said, patience is a virtue in this thing, and if you get impatient and you want to take it off right away, it's going to be harder to get off when it's still heated or warm and it hasn't cooled off completely. And you'll even hear it sometimes if you're sitting around the room waiting for it to cool off. You'll actually sometimes hear the plastic crack, and that's it coming loose off the bed. So I would recommend letting it sit as long as it needs to completely cool down. If you got a print that you absolutely cannot get off, I would recommend actually unscrewing the bed off the base and putting it in the freezer, because that'll do the reverse of what heating up does, because heating up obviously expands everything. This will actually make it contract even farther, and you should be able to get the print off the bed if it's that difficult. So those are the basic fundamentals of printing in itself. You're highly critical tramming the bed, but also in the printing process, you want to be patient and understand all your printer settings, and know that if you have trouble with stuff getting knocked off the bed or something, that you can always go to a printing group and ask questions. One final thought on the printing process is, down the road when you feel comfortable leaving the prints going as you're going to work or you're doing something else, what you can do is get cameras to monitor your print while you're gone, so you can view it on your phone and verify that everything's working according to plan as it's going. Oh, the cheapest option is Wise cams. They're about 35, 45 bucks for a new one. You can find them used for 25 on eBay. And what you do is you connect them up to a USB power source, and they'll connect to your Wi-Fi. And then you can check on your phone anywhere in the world you are at, and you can check your prints. And then what you can also do is get a smart plugs and connect the printers to the smart plugs. And then if you see a problem on the Wise cams, you can go to your smart plug app and turn off the system so that it stops print, and then you can stop it from wasting filament and just recover stuff when you get back to it. That's the cheapest option, what I use, and those are the white boxy cameras that you see there. The cameras above it are the ones I use to 24/7 stream my prints to the website, so they're constantly on 24/7 streaming to YouTube, and then I've embedded them in my website. And those are C920 Logitech cameras. But the white ones are the Wise cams. They're Wise Cam V2s, and the stands that they're on are actually a stand I created, a ATST Wise camera stand. You can find them on Thingiverse. If you look under Zypher 2000, that's my name on all the sites. I put my stuff on Thingiverse, Cults, and Printables, so you can find that specific print there. It's free. I usually just publish stuff I make for myself. I usually publish free for everybody, just because I know if I need it, somebody else probably does too. But that's the best way, the cheapest way to monitor your prints. You can do Octoprint and look and then research that, and that will actually allow you to monitor and control the printers remotely too. But the Wise camera solution is what I use with the smart plugs, and it's great for just monitoring. I just check it when I'm at work every once in a while, and if I see a problem, then I can just shut the printer off and then come back home and figure out what's going on and go from there. But so that's a solution to monitoring remotely when you start getting more confident in your printing abilities and the ability for your printer to do the prints fully unattended. If you find these videos helpful, please like and subscribe to my YouTube, or go to printingfundamentals.com.